Imagine yourself sitting in an office, staring out the window. Out there is the blue sky, the life you've always dreamed of. But instead of living it, you're selling away every hour, every day of your life in exchange for a paycheck, only to spend it on things that never bring lasting happiness. And the toughest question the book, Your Money or Your Life, asks is this: do you choose money or do you choose life? This isn't just an audiobook summary. It's a wake-up call. It challenges you to reflect, are you working for money or for the life you truly want? If you've ever sighed at a bill or wondered if you're wasting your youth just chasing a paycheck, then this video is for you. Let's dive into the life-changing lessons on money and mindset from this book. And before we begin, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss more books that help you break free from the money trap and reclaim your true freedom. Part 1. Waking up to your relationship with money. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what is my true relationship with money? Most of us only think of money as a tool, to pay bills, to shop, to have fun. But the truth is, money is tied to every single moment of your life. It represents the time you've lived, the energy you've spent, and even the freedom you've traded away. Authors Vicki and Joe Dominguez posed a question that startled millions of Americans. Are you working to live or just living to work? When you do the math, the average American spends over 90,000 hours of their lifetime just working. That's more than 10 years of life, not to love, not to explore the world, but to sit in front of a computer, attend endless meetings, and chase deadlines. And when the paycheck finally hits your account, most of it is spent unconsciously. Buying a new car to match your status, upgrading your phone every year because everyone else has one, or going out to fancy dinners just to escape work stress. But what if you stopped, woke up, and asked yourself, is this purchase really worth trading away dozens of hours of my life? When you look at money this way, everything changes. That's why the authors suggest you start by tracking every dollar of your income and expenses, and not just the amount, convert it into hours of your life. For example, you buy a $500 bag. Based on your salary, that could equal 40 hours of work. That's an entire week of your life. When you see it in terms of life hours, every spending decision becomes clearer, and you start to know what truly matters. Interestingly, many people who try this exercise realize they don't actually want more money. They want more freedom. They crave less pressure, less stress. And to achieve that, you don't necessarily need to earn more. You need to understand how money flows in and out of your life. In the end, money is neither the enemy nor the savior. It's a mirror reflecting how you live and what you truly value. And once you wake up, you see that happiness isn't about how much money you have, it's about how you use money to serve what really matters in your life. Part 2. Tracking your money, the truth revealed. Have you ever asked yourself, where does all my money go so fast? The average American earns around $60,000 a year, yet surveys show nearly 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, meaning as soon as the money comes in, it's already gone. This reveals a hard truth. Most of us don't actually know where our money is going. Vicki and Joe Dominguez call this step the financial mirror. If part 1 was about waking up to your relationship with money, then part 2 is about shining a light on reality, tracking every dollar in and out. It sounds simple, but most people avoid it because writing it down makes everything uncomfortably clear. How much of your monthly income is being drained by unconscious habits, like Starbucks every morning, Netflix, or those late-night online shopping sprees? How much is going toward things that don't bring lasting happiness, just temporary relief? Take the example of a woman named Sarah, shared in the book. She earned about $70,000 a year, but always complained she could never save. When she finally tracked every expense for 3 months, She discovered she was spending nearly $12,000 a year on eating out and food delivery. That's the cost of an entire trip across Europe, or a full year of retirement contributions. She had always thought it was just a little here and there, but in reality, her money was being drained by small, repeated choices. This is the truth-revealing moment the book wants you to face. When you track every dollar, your financial picture becomes as clear as a map. And that map shows an important truth. You're not broke because you don't make enough. You're broke because you don't know where your money is going. Once you see the whole picture, you gain the power to change. Just like when a doctor gives you lab results, seeing your cholesterol or blood sugar levels is what finally convinces you to adjust your lifestyle. With money, your spending numbers are the test results that wake you up. Remember, tracking your money isn't about feeling guilty for spending. It's about taking back control. Because only when you know exactly where your money is flowing can you direct it to where you truly want it to go. Freedom, security, and lasting happiness. Part 3. Evaluating the true value of your spending. In the last step, you saw clearly where your money was going. But the next step is even more important, asking about the real value behind every expense. There's a saying in America, you vote with your dollars. Every dollar you spend is like casting a ballot, showing what you support and what you value. But think about it. If every day you're voting for fast food or for late-night impulse shopping sprees, is that really a reflection of the life you want? In Your Money or Your Life, Vicki introduces a radical perspective. Every time you spend money, you're not just spending dollars, you're spending pieces of your life energy. Here's a simple example. If you earn $25 an hour after taxes and you buy a $100 shirt, that shirt actually costs you 4 hours of your life. Add in the stress of work, the commute, the energy you burn, and suddenly it might represent half a day of your living time. The question then becomes, is half a day of your life really worth a shirt you might wear a few times and then forget in your closet? It sounds harsh, but this shift in perspective has transformed the way thousands of Americans spend. A 2023 Bankrate study found that nearly 57% of Americans couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency expense. The problem isn't always low income. It's that many people have never asked themselves, does this purchase bring me lasting happiness? The book tells the story of a couple in New York. They earned good money, but were always broke. When they applied this method, they realized nearly 40% of their monthly spending went to maintaining a lifestyle society expected of them. Trendy clothes, fancy dinners, endless parties. But when they compared the cost in life hours against the actual happiness they got, most of it wasn't worth it. So they simplified their lifestyle, and within just a few years, they had saved enough to retire early. The lesson is clear. Every purchase is a trade-off with your life energy. Once you start seeing money through this lens, you'll naturally spend less on meaningless things and invest more in what truly matters: your health, your experiences, and your freedom. Part 4. Spending less, living better. When most people hear the phrase cutting expenses, they immediately think of sacrifice, living miserably, giving up joy, or even punishing themselves. But Your Money or Your Life offers a different perspective. Spending less isn't about cutting out happiness, it's about clearing away the excess so you can make room for what truly matters. Think back, the last time you bought something expensive, how long did that happiness last? A day? A week? Then the excitement faded and you started craving the next thing. That's the consumer trap millions of Americans are stuck in. Psychology research confirms this. Once your basic needs are met, more spending doesn't necessarily mean more happiness. According to a 2021 Gallup report, the income level where Americans feel generally satisfied with life averages around $75,000 a year. Beyond that, happiness levels barely increase while stress and pressure often climb higher.
The book shares the story of a man in Los Angeles who spent nearly 70% of his income on a luxury apartment and an expensive car. But after years of chasing that lifestyle, he realized he wasn't any happier. Eventually, he sold it all, downsized to a modest home, simplified his life, and to his surprise, he felt richer than ever. Not richer in money, but in time, peace of mind, and freedom. Smart spending cuts don't make you poor, they actually make you wealthier in ways that matter most. They allow you to invest more in experiences and relationships, things proven to bring lasting happiness. Instead of upgrading to the latest iPhone every year, you could use that money to take your family on a trip or enroll in a class you've always wanted. These experiences enrich your soul and leave memories far more lasting than any gadget ever could. The key message is simple: spend less, live more. When you learn to separate needs from wants, you'll discover that simplicity doesn't just save money, it gives you a lighter, less stressful, and truly more meaningful life.
Part 5. Financial freedom, more than just having money. When people hear the phrase financial freedom, many imagine having millions in the bank or being able to buy anything without worry. But your money or your life offers a very different definition. Financial freedom isn't about how much money you have. It's about how much control you have over your life. Picture this. Every morning, instead of rushing off to the office, you get to decide how you'll spend your day. Do you want to work 4 hours or devote the whole day to your family? The choice is yours. That's the true meaning of financial freedom. One of the book's core ideas is that money is not a measure, it's a tool to buy back your own time. Every dollar you earn represents life energy exchanged, hours worked, effort given, stress endured. Once you understand this, you start to ask, how can I use this money to gain more free time, instead of chaining myself deeper into the cycle of earning, spending, and debt? In the US, surveys show that nearly 78% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. For them, money is simply a way to cover expenses, not a path to freedom. On the other hand, people who reach financial independence, often with very average incomes, achieve it by adjusting their lifestyle, saving diligently, and investing wisely. They treat every dollar as a chance to buy a little more real freedom. For example, the book shares the story of a family in Seattle. Instead of buying the big house and new cars like their peers, they chose a modest home, drove older vehicles, and saved 50% of their income. After just over a decade, they had enough investments to retire in their 40s. They now spend their time traveling across the US with their children. For them, freedom wasn't about mansions or luxury cars, it was about living life on their own terms. The message is clear. Financial freedom isn't about being rich, it's about being free. It's the ability to say no to the things you don't want, and yes to the life you truly desire. Part 6. Money as a tool for a meaningful life. Looking back, you'll notice that the entire message of Your Money or Your Life revolves around one simple truth. Money is not the goal, it's a tool. And its real value lies in how you use it to create a more meaningful life. In America, people often say, money can't buy happiness. That's partly true. Once you have enough for food, shelter, and security, extra income doesn't make you much happier. Princeton studies show that around $75,000 a year is the satisfaction threshold for basic well-being. Beyond that point, joy doesn't really increase unless you use money in ways that add meaning. So what does it mean to live meaningfully with money? It's not about buying the newest car or the biggest house. It's about using money to buy more time for yourself and your family. Create memorable experiences instead of just collecting things. Invest in learning, health, and relationships. Contribute to your community and leave a positive mark on the world. For example, many Americans who choose early retirement don't do it just to relax and consume. They do it to chase dreams they once set aside: painting, writing, volunteering, or opening a small cafe where people can connect. For them, money is simply the key that unlocks a life worth living. The final message is this: don't let money become your master. Make it your most loyal servant. Let every dollar you earn serve something that makes your life deeper, richer, and more meaningful. You see, money is just a tool. When you learn to master it, you don't just buy freedom, you buy a meaningful life. Instead of letting money control you, let it serve the values you truly cherish. If you found these lessons helpful and want to keep exploring more powerful ideas from great books, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because sometimes just one small idea can completely change the way you see money and the way you live your life.